Okay, welcome to the 2-point perspective lesson. Now let's continue where I kind of like left off with the 1-point perspective. So now we have two vanishing points, and two vanishing points is the thing that kind of determines that we are talking about 2-point perspective. So 2 points, 2 vanishing points. What you can see here is that I have already tilted the eye level just to make the whole thing a bit more interesting. Usually what you see is a eye level being straightforward, just like you are watching now, straightforward. But if you tilt your head to the right side, you can see how things tilt. So that's what I've done with the drawing. So that's kind of artificial tilting your head. Instead, you are watching this image from kind of like straightforward, so you are not tilting your head when you are watching this image, except that if you do tilt, then you would see this line being straight, and when you are watching from this level, you can see the line being tilted like that. So that's already one thing to think about when you are drawing with 2-point perspective, but also when you are drawing anything, to think that how can you make your drawings a bit more interesting. If I would have stayed with the straight lines, it wouldn't have been bad, but I think it's a bit more interesting if I tilt a bit the whole thing. To create a 2-point perspective, it's pretty easy. So all you need to do is decide, well, what is the angle at which the eye level kind of like works. And you could do like, here's one point, here's another one, draw a straight line. Let's draw it with another color, just so they are a bit different. And then what you need to do is draw another one with a 90-degree angle to the eye level. So this is the eye level or horizon line, whichever you like to use. So yet again, what you can see here is that everything above the eye level, you can see that, oh, they are higher than me, because they feel like they are like, I'm watching the lower plane, bottom plane of the object. So they feel like they are higher than me. But you can also see that when we see this object here, we can see that it's almost at the same level where we are. So it doesn't feel that off or so far away. Yet again, the same thing here. Everything below the eye level, we are watching the plane, the upper plane of the object. So we can see like what is on top of the object. Now we cannot see, like if we watch this object here, we don't know what is above this object. We don't know because we don't see there. It could be anything. There could be an animal, there could be a human, there could be a spaceship. We don't know because we don't see there. Because this object is above us, so we don't see what is here, what is going on here. But at the same time, we don't know what is below this. There could be anything. There could be another universe, for example. We don't know because we don't see below this, because this object is now in front of our view, so we don't see below. So eye level is very important to understand that how it works and how it kind of like gives you the view of what do you see from an object. Now I have an example drawing here that I did previously, and you can see how I've used the lines, the cubes, to create the drawing, or more like, create something new for the drawing. So you can see that I've transformed the cubes to something else. I added a few decorations here and small details here and there. Pretty basic, pretty simple to do, but yet again it does create a nice effect for the drawing. even using simple geometric, shapes like boxes, cubes, these kind of things, rectangles, and so on. So you can kind of like create a interesting piece of work just by applying a 2-point perspective guides or 2-point perspective objects to the drawing, because these could have been anything. Like I could have used spheres, triangles, anything. Instead, I decided to use boxes this time. And when we apply, colors and everything to the drawing, three-dimensionality, you can see the shading here. It's now being applied. Shades, shadow, colors applied to the cubes. It truly makes the whole drawing come alive in a new way. But you can see the basic lines, everything is still there intact and kind of like giving away the vanishing points and perspective that you can see here. Like people, when they see the image as a final version, you can see like how these things are still going there. So this is what makes the image more interesting, but it's very clear where the vanishing points are. So if you're watching this image, you can see that, well, yeah, they are kind of like going there. Like you can eyeball roughly where they are, because it's so clear, how they kind of like work. So yeah, that's kind of like how you use 2-point perspective. You can use it in many ways, but that's kind of like a bit more complex than the 1-point perspective. But yet again, the only thing here was that we added another vanishing point, and that's all we did. So 2 vanishing points, still transversal lines, which are vertical lines, or the way I like to think about them is vertical lines related to the, vertical line compared to the eye level line. So that's how I like to think about these lines. So yeah, that's 2-point perspective. Let's keep going.